There's quite a few bad reviews for this, but I love it. So I put Teflon tape on the ends, screwed them on, zip tied it. I put it around the side of my pool versus the ground. Makes it harder to mow. Wrapped it around. Comes down here. So the top piece, which is where the warm water goes back into the pool, you see it has this bigger spot for a 1.5, but it's 1.5 hose is too big for this. This is a 1.25. Get a clamp, it will work fine. That hose goes back to the outtake, and the water is pushed back into the pool. I bought this piece separately on Amazon because it has the screw that goes in there to connect to the 1.25 hose. And then it has the two. This is an 18-foot Coleman pool. And then for the pump itself, I bought another one of these pieces to go onto the pump because the 1.25 won't go onto this 1.5 pump. I had to put 2 clamps on it and a clamp here because it leaked the first time I installed it. And then you connect to the bottom that goes to the filter. So that is the intake. There you have it. Intake, outtake, sand pump, lots of hoses. And over time, with the rubbing here, you see how that's kind of shaky? The rubbing on the ground, you will have to replace your hoses. That's why this whole process even started, is because the first hose I had here leaked because it rubbed raw on the rocks, and then this one had touched this one, and that rubbed raw. Your hoses need to touch nothing if you can, but here it is. No leaks. Took about 30 minutes to install. I wouldn't have been able to install it if I didn't have these 2 connector pieces that I ordered on Amazon. It's the pieces that go right here for your above ground Intex pools or Coleman pools.
Hello. I installed this solar heater for the pool. Just want to mention one thing about the bypass, because I was worried if pump is going to be able to push all the water needed through the heater. So what I've done, rather than connecting these 2 parts in series, meaning this piece straight to that piece, connected them in a parallel. So we are feeding water to one and to the other heater independently, and then returning from one and from the other heater and back to the pool. So that itself was supposed to make it easier for pump to work, because rather than pushing through one heater and then through another, it's pushing through these 2 in parallel. I was not sure if that is going to be enough for pump to work okay. So I also added this bypass right here. So this is from the pump going to the heater, and this is returning from the heater into the chlorinator and then into the pool. So I put this valve here. If it's fully open, it's mostly going through a bypass, so it doesn't really push through the heater, which makes it easy on the pump, but you don't get a flow through the heater, so obviously you don't get heating. But then if you adjust this, you can basically regulate how much water you push through the heater to still have heating and to have pump work efficiently to push that back into the pool. Now, before I did all that, I was not actually aware that this header here, so the bottom half pushes water into the tubes, goes to the header on the other side and comes back, and from this top half is now heated water going into the pool. But here in the middle, this header is not completely separated, so it already has like an orifice that is kind of bypass, allowing water to flow more freely rather than pushing everything through these little tubes. Either way, I think that this bypass here was a good idea, because when it's hot in the summer and you don't want your water to get really heated a lot, you can just open this completely, and that way you're not really pushing water through the heater anymore. Just thought it would be something good to know. Thank you.
Still videoing.